with Santos. And this is Maria on the right and Jerry on the left. They are my grandparents. Thank you guys for taking a part in this interview with me today. We'll be going through 20 questions about your childhood history and what it was like for you. And we will be switching off, taking turns asking questions. So, first question. Childhood. When and where were you born?
I was born in Cuba in March 3rd, 1955.
Papa, who were your family members and what were they like?
My family members were my father and my mother and my sister. And they were just like regular people.
Regular people.
Nanny, what is your first childhood memory?
My first childhood memory was when I was 2 years old, and people don't believe this. I had a little dress that had this little embroidery flowers, and I kept touching the flowers all through my birthday party. I kept touching the little flowers, so I remember that.
Papa, what did you do for fun as a child?
For fun as a child, in Cuba, baseball is very popular. So whenever I came home from school, I had a friend and we would go outside and just kind of play catch or play baseball.
Okay, now about you guys more growing up. Nanny, who were your friends and what were they like?
I had one best friend, a girl, and she was quieter than me. I was the more troublemaker, but I wasn't really a troublemaker, but she was quieter than me. And her name was Maria Lourdes. And she was my best friend, and we took piano lessons together, and we used to sit on the porch together and watch the people go by, and that's about it, what I did.
Okay. Describe a typical family dinner with your parents and other family members.
Now you have to tell me, like, at what age were you talking? When I was what age?
Let's say when you were my age, 12.
12? Okay. By that time, we already were here in America. So, a typical dinner?
Yeah.
It would be just like any other dinner, but my parents always made like a Cuban dish or something like that. So
Oh,
it
sounds
took
fun.
it took a long time before they were able to kind of like switch.
American
They never
dishes.
switch. They always have Cuban food.
Okay. Nanny, what were holidays like for you and your family?
Oh, so Christmas Eve was a big celebration, and people usually roasted a pig, kind of like Hawaiian style. They do like a barbecue on the ground, and they dug a hole, and then they put like a plantain leaves and cover the pig. And what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
No.
You have to explain that's the Cuban custom.
Yeah, it is,
People
but
would
they
not
do it in
understand
Hawaii too.
that. Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you roast the pig there for like 10 hours. And people drank and listened to music and they danced. And Christmas Day was more quiet. And then we didn't get any gifts until the King's Day, which was January 6th. And I think that's today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah, it
then
is
they will
today.
come. We will think that the three kings that follow the star when Jesus was born,
Three wise men?
the two
Yes,
wise men,
yes.
yeah, and they come and bring gifts to the children, so they will put it under your bed, so when you got up, you could see the presents. Usually like 3 or 4 presents.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Papa, how is the world different now than the way it was back then?
Now, when you say back then, how far back do you want to go?
Let's say back in Cuba.
Oh, how the world's, oh my gosh. Completely different. Because, I'll give you a short answer. I don't know how long you want, but back then, of course, there was no electronics, there was no computers, there was no phones. Well, the phones were the old kind of phones where you,
On the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, when I was a little kid, when I was only 8, or was still in Cuba, uh, my dad one day brought a TV. We never ever had a TV before, and the TV was black and white, and all you could watch on the TV was old cartoons, like the old Mickey Mouse cartoons, where, and this was like the old Mickey Mouse, where Mickey Mouse was like skinny,
Skinny
really
leg.
like skinny legs,
Skinny
not the
legs.
modern Mickey Mouse. That was it. Other than that, go outside, play catch, or pull. We used to go roller skating,
Right, Max?
ride bikes. Yeah.
Oh, tell about the thing that you told me the other day about on the beach when they were.
Well,
That was a good-
no, but he.
Well, that was
well,
for
that's
fun.
a long story.
No.
But since we didn't have any electronics like iPads or phones, we had to come up with ideas all the time. So one thing we used to do for entertainment, we would, maybe I shouldn't say this. We would, me and my friend would go on a bike, and then we would kind of like knock on people's door, and then when they come out, we would laugh and then
Right.
run.
Or what modern day people call doorbell ditching, right?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yeah. Or we would roller skating was big because it was all you had to do was buy a couple of pair of roller skates, were cheap. That was about it.
Ah, cool. Okay. Nanny, did you have any traditions with your family back in Cuba?
Just Christmas. No, just the Christmas and the Wise Man's Day, which is January 6th. I don't remember any traditions.
Did you have like parades? We had
Oh, Carnival.
Yes.
Carnivals. So, like every year for a week, they will have a carnival. And they will choose like a queen of the town, and they will do like the Rose Parade, but not so fancy. And that was a big thing. They decorate all the streets and the lampposts and put buckets of flowers on the front and all kinds of things to make it nice.
Ah, okay. Papa, I'm going to ask you about sort of how you guys met each other and your guys' family now.
Oh, he doesn't remember.
I remember. What was the question?
How did you two meet each other, Papa?
Okay. Well, when Nani used to live in the Bay Area,
Okay.
and my family lived nearby, so there was a group of people who were all originally from Cuba. All the families kind of knew each other, so I think there was a wedding. Somebody was getting married,
Okay.
and you know how in the wedding you have sometimes you invite people to be like ushers, and
Okay.
so they invited me and they invited her. You know, kind of like they paired us together, and that's how we met.
Oh, so you guys met at another friend's wedding.
Yes.
That's funny. Okay. Nanny, when and where did you get married?
Got married in Alameda.
Where's that?
Alameda is in the Bay Area.
Oh.
Right next to Oakland.
Yeah. In 1974. Yeah,
At a church.
at a church. Catholic church.
What was the name of the church?
St. Barnabas.
St. Barnabas.
Okay. So, Papa, why did you choose your children's names? Or, yeah.
How did I pick their names?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first name was Carolyn, our oldest daughter, and I don't really know,
I know
why I
why.
liked that one.
Yes, I know why.
Why?
Because we were at a restaurant and the waitress name was Carol. She had a little, and he said that he liked that name.
Yeah.
Ah.
And then the second name was Jennifer, and so you picked that one. I
Yes.
think I agree with that. But Jennifer was a popular name during the '70s.
Oh.
And the last name was, that would be your mom's name, Jacqueline. And I picked that one because back in the 60s, the president of the United States was John F. Kennedy, and his wife was named Jacqueline.
Ah.
And she was very
Elegant.
person, very admired person, that's why. So it was a popular name.
Okay. Cool. Nanny, what was your proudest moment as a parent?
Well, I was very proud of when they played sports and they did well. That was a very, like, I was very proud of your mom when she was a pitcher in softball. She used to be little skinny girl, and she did very well. She
And
used to
volleyball.
yeah, not so much in volleyball, but I remember in softball. And then with Carolyn, she did very well. The oldest one, she did very well in basketball. She was tough and push around, and she was a tough girl. So, and Jennifer, she was a very good student. She was very good in school, especially in grammar school. She was always got A's on everything, so I was very proud of that.
Papa, what is the one thing that you want people to remember about you?
I would say that I think that we always try to raise the girls in a good environment so that they would learn from watching us. You know, be honest and not to tell lies, or at least not too many lies, and learn the importance of going to college and studying so you can get a good job. Those kinds of things.
Okay, now we're moving on to the last 5 questions. We're going to be talking more about Cuba. I was assigned to do 15 questions, but I know this was a big part of your history, and I wanted to ask you guys a few questions about Cuba. So, Nanny, what was life like in Cuba?
Life was very nice. That's why I like to watch the Andy Griffith Show. It was kind of reminds me of Cuba. It was a small town. Well, I lived in a big town, but here will be considered a small town, but it was big to their standards. And just simple life, going to school, getting good grades, playing with your friends at recess, after school, going. I used to piano lessons, just family life. What else? I forgot the question.
What was life in Cuba?
Oh, live, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
and
You went to the beach. The
yeah,
nice
and the
beaches in
vacation
Cuba.
was like a whole month.
There's a lot of nice beaches in Cuba.
Yeah, and then we will drive to the beach and rent a house and stay there, and we there was no Disneyland, no nothing. Carnivals, the carnivals used to come to your town for a couple of days, and
Yeah.
you got on the merry-go-round or the flying chairs. That was kind of like
No roller
the
coasters
most.
yet, though.
I don't remember a roller coaster. I remember some kind of roller coaster, but very small, very small. A lot of vendors. Oh, cotton candy was my favorite. I used to love cotton
I
candy.
think they have circuses.
Oh, the circus. Yeah, the circus. The elephants and all the animals. A big top. You know, they used to come and set it up.
I've only been to like 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Papa, what hardships did you go through in Cuba? What were your hardest moments?
I really didn't go through too many because I don't know if you know the history, but my father had a pretty nice job.
Okay.
You know, so we had a nice house. We weren't poor or anything like that.
Middle
so,
What was
class.
his job?
Yeah.
Yeah, huh?
What was his job?
He was an accountant.
Oh, okay.
So, but when the whole thing happened with Castro, you know, that he took over,
Okay.
and then they began to kind of like go after people who didn't agree with them, that kind of thing.
Okay.
They started. He saw what was happening right away, and so we left. That's when we left. She lived there for quite a few years after that. So after a few years, the economy kind of went bad, and then there was people didn't have enough food, and you couldn't get your cars fixed and stuff. But we left pretty shortly after, so we didn't really have a lot of hardship. We had more hardship when we came here because we had nothing.
That was actually the answer to the next question. how and why did you escape / leave Cuba? But so we'll just go to the next one. Nanny, what was your favorite memory of Cuba?
The beach. The beaches were so clear.
I would expect that because it's an island, I guess, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so clear and so clean, and the sand is like flour.
It's
Like
like
this.
Florida, maybe like
No,
if you ever
Florida
been to
is not as good. And never heard of a shark attack or anything like that. Stingrays, that's the
Yeah.
most I saw, stingrays. You know.
Okay, Papa, this is the last question. If you could, would you move back to Cuba?
No,
Why
no.
not?
Why not? Because the same people who took over way back when my parents left are still in charge. Not the same Castro has died since then, but the people who follow the same policies that he made. So it's a communist country. That means that you can't have different opinions. You know, like here you can have different parties and that kind of thing. There you have to be always agree with what they're saying. There's no freedom. So you can't. There's no freedom like here. So and everything is very poor. They never been able to figure out how to get businesses to do good things. So there's a lack of food. There's a lack of medicines. The cars don't work. You have cars that are like 50 years old. So no, I wouldn't want to go back.
Yeah, I can tell you something that I saw on a Facebook. Somebody went to Cuba and took a picture of a grocery store. Well, the grocery store was a little shed, and it had 3 shelves, and they had a bottle, a bottle water container,
Okay.
and it had inside it had rice up to here. So the bottle's like this, the rice is up to here, and they had it on the shelf, and then they had another bottle and it had oil up to here. They had another shelf. So when you go and work and shopping, you have to show a paper, and they put on this week you bought this little bit of rice. So they gave it to you. They give you the bottle with a little bit of rice like this, and that's how much food they have. So it's people are very hungry and very poor, very sad.
Thank you guys for taking part in this interview. I know more about you than I did yesterday, and I'm glad that you guys took your precious time to come to this
And
interview.
we're very happy that we came to the United States.
It's a great place.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Noah.
before the interview, I asked you guys to gather some photos before, and I'm gonna put that in the video right now.